What the?
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
What's poppin', people? You know, hold on. Alright, this is a little bit of a better place to talk. Okay, I'm finally back. It must be about 6 months now since I made my last video, and that's one of the things that I want to talk about. Because I remember I think it was the video of Clones of Clans, a horrible video that I made a long time ago. But I remember towards the end of that video, I said that I was gonna make a lot of videos, and here I am 6 months later, haven't made a video. Okay, so I got 3 things here. The first one is pretty simple. It's just I want to apologize of saying that I was gonna make so many other videos and it just never happened. So that's the first one. Okay, now the second thing that I'm gonna say is I actually got a intro now. Let me show you. So, if you like the video, I actually had a friend come up with it. In fact, Pete, if you're watching this, thank you. You did an amazing job, and I'm gonna keep it for a while. I like it. It's pretty cool. I'm actually going to put anybody who has anything that they would want, I guess ideas or anything like that for art. I'm going to put Pete's information down in the description here. I'm gonna put the email and also Pete's Instagram, so you can hit him up. He's an amazing guy. He does incredible work, he really does. So Pete, if you're watching this, thank you so much, you did amazing. My last thing that I'm going to talk about is me being bald, and I'm gonna tell you that story right now. Okay, you know what, let me make this a better location to tell this whole story. Give me a second. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So when I was really little, my family and I would always, during the summer, we would always get a shore house. We would go for maybe a week or two. And at the time, we had a boat for many years. And we would always bring it down with us. So when we would bring the boat down, we would always go tubing and fishing and crabbing. And then by the end of the day, all of us would jump onto the boat when the sun was coming down, and we would take a ride around the bay just to relax and have fun. Okay, so the thing about the summer was that when I was little, whenever it was really hot out, every now and then I would get a headache, but I never thought it was something of where, I thought it was just normal. I thought everybody would get them now and then, but I didn't think that it was so bad of where I would have to go to the hospital and get tested or anything like that. My parents didn't even think about it either. I thought it was just just regular, like everybody else would have. So now, years go by, and it's 2005, right around the end of 3rd grade, starting of the summer. Back in 3rd grade, whenever we would have recess right after lunch, we would go and me and some friends would play football, play baseball, whatever there was to do. And I remember during that summer, like leading into the summer, the days were incredibly hot out. I remember there were at least 2-3 days in the 5-day week of where I would go to the nurse because I had horrible headaches. So when I would go to the nurse's room, I would always have to take either Tylenol, whatever it was, to ease the pain or anything that would at least slightly help. And I remember I would go home, that like so many days of where I would skip school at least like half of the day. So time goes by. I remember me and a friend of mine started to play football. We would play for our local football team. It was the Abington Raiders. Actually, I still have it. Hold on. I still have my jersey still. It's pretty cool. I still have my jersey, and also I still have a helmet too with everybody who signed on it. This leads on to this story here. So I started playing football, and later in the summer it just became so hot out of where I remember the headaches just got worse. We were doing scrimmages during the summer. We were practicing, and the actual season started, it may have started maybe the end of August, but I remember definitely in September, and the games went through all the way till, I believe, it could have ended around November. I don't remember exactly the timing, but I only played about 3/4 of the season, and the headaches just, it was too much. So now I had to quit playing football, which was horrible because it was my first year and I really enjoyed it. My parents and I went to the local hospital, and I ended up taking a CAT scan. And after I did that, we got the results, and we found out that I had a tumor in my brain. So after we found out that I had the brain tumor, we were transported to Children's Hospital in Philadelphia. They brought me on a stretcher. My mom came with me, and we went into a helicopter and flew down to Children's Hospital, and it was really fast. It only took, I'm gonna say, about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. It was really quick, and then my dad drove down and met us there. So it took around 4 hours to be resected. The surgeon did an amazing job. I ended up feeling great after the surgery, and even after with the recovery, I felt like I was just back to normal. Now, I don't remember if it was before or after, but I remember doing testing on my eyesight, and I remember it was a very long time of doing all these testings, and we found out that the section of the brain that was taken out was part of my eyesight, so I can only see half of what the normal person can see. So for an example, I'll say I can only see just about here, and then anything past that I can't see. So right now I have no clue where my hand is, but for everybody else they can see 180 degrees. So not only was the part of the brain of where it's difficult for me to read, but also I have a loss of vision as well. So now after the surgery, I was back at home. At the time I was back in 4th grade, but from the recovery I probably stayed home for, I want to say, a month or 2. Could be wrong, but it takes a long time after a major surgery like that. And I remember it wasn't as if, like, when you have surgery like that, it's not like you had it and it's done. After the surgery, we had to go, or I had to go through chemotherapy and also radiation. And it took a while doing that. The chemotherapy is, it's almost like a steroid, and when I took it, that's how I lost my hair. And after that, I had to go through 6 weeks of radiation, and I have pictures of the people right here. So I did 6 weeks. I remember getting up really early in the morning. I got up at 6 o'clock and then had to be at CHOP at 7 o'clock to do the radiation. And then after that, we drove all the way back and I went to school. Now this is way further. This is, I want to say, during the winter or possibly early 2006. So the radiation, that's the whole reason why my hair never grew back after the chemotherapy. Lost the hair. It was pretty short. It wasn't very long, but I remember doing that, and I had to go back to CHOP just because we had to do more testing, but mostly for like checkups to see how everything went after the surgery. So I went and met with my doctor. I remember, what was her name? Belasco. Yeah, it was Dr. Belasco, and I have a picture of her as well. I went there, and it was I think I went once every month for about 6 months. Then after that, it spread it out. It went from 1 month for 6 months, and then it went to 3 months. After 3 months for a certain amount of time, then it went 6 every 6 months, and then it went, I think, once a year. And this is way further. I think this whole time period was about, I want to say it was like 5 years from the beginning to the end. So every time I would meet with my doctor at Children's Hospital, she would always say that I looked perfect, there was nothing wrong with me, and I always kind of really look back at that. Now, one of the things that I completely forgot about was, after I had the surgery, I want to say once I was back to normal and I felt pretty good, I was actually lucky enough of where a foundation called Make-A-Wish came to me and my family and asked if there was anything that I wanted to do, they would pay for it. They would let me do whatever it was. And the one thing that I did want to do was go to the Bahamas with my family. Out of all the things that I wanted to do, it was just to be with my family and enjoy. I think it was maybe about a week and a half. But unfortunately, that whole time I was sick. After the surgery, I felt horrible, and it took me a long time to actually get back together. But we were then lucky enough to go again one more time to the Bahamas. and that time I have pictures of that as well, but we had a blast. I really enjoyed it. Alright, so now I didn't know exactly how to finish this video, but now that I think about it, I felt like I missed something in this video. I feel like I didn't really fully finish it. So I have one thing that I want to share with you just to finish this. Alright, so the last thing I'm going to tell you is something really important about having the surgery. And this one thing is, the only people who know this is me and my family. This thing that I'm going to tell you, I just found out just about a year ago now. It's been about a year. And so I don't even know where to start with this. So after having surgery, for any sort of cancer, you always end out having either, your results are you have malignant, which is it's spreaded and you really can't do much to it, and eventually it's pretty bad because eventually you're going to pass. And then the other thing is benign, of where going through chemo, going through radiation, the part that was taking out, you are good. You're gonna keep going. You're gonna live. You're healthy. And of course you have to go through a few things after it, like how I had to go through radiation, and had to do checkups and all of that stuff, doing testing. But you're good. And now, after I had my surgery, we had two opinions here. Children's Hospital is spreaded all over, and there was one in Florida that said that my surgery, the outcome from it was that it was benign, and I was going to be completely fine. I was going to go through my original stuff, doing the chemo and radiation, but the outcome is that I'll be completely fine and I can live the rest of my life. But now, like I was saying, something that I found out just a year ago was that someone told me that the Children's Hospital in Philadelphia, they told my parents that I only had 6 months to live. Only 6 months. Now, from those results from both Florida and also Philadelphia, it's kind of like a 50-50 chance here. You don't know exactly what will happen, but here I am. I'm still here. I'm very, very lucky that I'm still here, and I'm blessed. I mean, I remember that my parents and family, they would always say that I was blessed of that there was a good chance of where I could not be here today. But that's one of the things that I really wanted to share with you guys, because I mean, now it's just a little over 12 years now that after my surgery I'm still here. But I've never, I mean, like I was saying, I've only found this out just a year ago. So it's really something to look back at and think that I'm really lucky. I really am. None of my friends or people in school, people who I've met, I never told anybody that. I remember people always asking me why the heck I'm bald on the side when I was in high school, and I just simply said I had a brain tumor, and that's that. But yeah, It's something that I wanted to share, and it kind of feels good to get it off my shoulders, you know. I've always wanted to talk about this, but I never really wanted to do it when I was younger. But yeah. So I guess now that I told you that, you really got to think about every day of where you wake up and you feel good. And I know everybody has bad days, but you just kind of, you gotta put it to the side and try to be as happy as you can. I know it's tough because everybody has bad days. Everybody goes through it. But it's just like anything else. I mean, it's for an example of working out. Whenever I have to, I push myself to do a mile every day, and I run as hard as I can. Oh wow, that lighting is horrible. So I try to run a mile every day, and even before I get to the gym, I always think, oh my god, I don't feel like doing it today, I'm not in the mood, but I still go there, and I still run that mile, and at the end of it, it's that satisfaction. You have to push yourself. It's tough, but that's the difference between people who are successful, people who achieve goals and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm that type of person. I want to. That's a goal for me, is to become somebody of where I can look back in my life and say that I did this, I conquered this. So that's mostly what I wanted to share with you guys. It's something I've thought about for a long time, and I mean, now that I know I'm going to make videos, I'm not saying that at the moment I'm going to be doing daily vlogging. That is another goal that I want to do or achieve. I do want to do daily vlogging, but for the time being, I'm not going to be doing that, just not yet. So anybody who watches this, subscribe, that's one thing, but yeah, just stay positive, that's all. So I'm gonna end it here, and yeah, thanks for watching this video.